Good evening, folks. It's Diamond with the Oppenheimer Ranch Project and Magnetic Reversal News, bringing you a magnetic excursion update Tuesday, July 8th, around 9:45 p.m. Mountain Time, 2025. Solar activity has returned to the sun, and we're talking about around the east limb here, an M2.4 solar flare occurring earlier today. Maybe we have a new active region that could spice up space weather. We also have record mass gains in the middle of melt season on Greenland, and climate alarmists have no explanation. Plus, the death toll rises in Texas, so buckle up, Buttercup, and keep calm. It's boom time. At least 109 people have been killed in the central Texas flash flooding that began early on the morning of the 4th of July. Camp Mystic Hunt in Texas said Monday it's mourning the loss of 27 campers and counselors. Unfortunately, 5 campers and 1 counselor there remain missing on Tuesday. The National Weather Service said San Antonio, additional showers and thunderstorms are possible, but we are expecting to be low in coverage. Good news there. One Texas man was haunted by the desperate screams of children during the deadly Hill County flash floods. And according to the WAPO, flood deaths are rising in the U.S., fueled by heavier rainfall. Well, and of course, they are going to allude to climate change. But I have another explanation for the increased deaths in freshwater flood fatalities, and it's called Honga Tonga Haipai. The eruption in January of 2022 released 10 to 15% more moisture in the stratosphere than the last 100 years. And that increased moisture means increased rainfall in the atmosphere for years. And in this case, we're now 1, 2, 3, 4 years out, and the atmosphere is completely saturated still from the eruption of Honga Tonga. Those are the facts. Please spread them around. And a severe thunderstorm warning sparked travel chaos as major airports ground flights, including JFK and LaGuardia. The Federal Aviation Administration issued ground stops for flights departing from JFK International Airport, Newark's Liberty Airport, and Baltimore Washington International Airport, as well as Ronald Reagan Washington National Airport and Dallas Fort Worth, all due to severe thunderstorms nationwide. The good news is that line of storms is now moving offshore, and we've just got a small amount of storms out here in the south central U.S. 5 severe weather warnings, including Oklahoma, Texas, and 2 special marine warnings for the East Coast and down here in the Southeast. Come over to Tornado HQ for live severe weather map updates and audio alerts as well. We've got heavy rainfall in the Southwest, scattered severe thunderstorms in the Mid-Atlantic. Heavy rainfall and the potential for flooding will continue through this evening in the Southwest, with particular concern for flooding over recent burn scars and higher terrain. Scattered severe thunderstorms containing the potential for damaging wind gusts and excessive rainfall are possible in the Mid-Atlantic to southern New England through tonight. Heat warnings in the West, excessive heat warnings in the Southwest. So heed the warnings. And what is this orange? Oh, that's a severe thunderstorm watch up there for Montana. Let's confirm that. Is there any other? Oh, no, that's a Montana heat advisory, I think. Yes, in fact, it is. Take a look at this. Highs for Wednesday at 100 in Montana, so certainly going to be sweltering up there where it gets to minus 40, even minus 50, for goodness sakes. And let's take a look at the GFS model. You can see the line of storms in the East Coast will be moving offshore rapidly. Here is Wednesday. Now Thursday, we're going to see pop-up storms on the East Coast from Philly all the way south into Florida. And that will continue Thursday as it moves offshore. Pop back up on Friday in the same regions. Take a look at that with the new line of storms in the center of the U.S. for the end of the week. And we'll move the model through Saturday. And here is Sunday. And then Monday, and now the models get a little squishy now, don't they? Precipitation and moisture. Take a look at the total accumulated precipitation through the time frame. Could see some flash flooding up here in southwestern Iowa, as well as the Delmarva. And Vostok is now at record low territory, minus 110 Fahrenheit. And a new study shows that Svalbard was 9°C warmer than today when CO2 was just 260 parts per million. It doesn't make sense. Yeah, the CO2 climate scam is nonsense. CO2 is not the climate control knob, and we can show you right here. When CO2 was at the lowest ever recorded on Earth, Svalbard was 9°C warmer. Make it make sense. Well, it doesn't. In fact, we're over here at the polar portal, and here is Greenland's surface mass budget, where Greenland has been gaining in the last week, gaining ice in the middle of the hottest time. This is the melt season, and Greenland is entering ice-gaining territory. You tell me how we're all burning up. Climate tards. Seismic update. No real quakes of note. We do have a significant rumbler here, 5.7 in Guatemala with some aftershocks. An outlier here, 4.1 in Kazakhstan, but normal activity worldwide. There was some explosions up here earlier today near Washington, but a 2.5 nonetheless could be a result of an aftershock from that quarry explosion. Worldwide volcano news for the day, Tuesday, the 8th of July. Dukono first on the list, 8,000-foot blast. Kirishima, possible volcanic cloud there. Ibu on the list, 7,000 feet. Can't see a stringer. Liwatobi Laki Laki still puffing and passing, 48,000 foot. You can see smoke still coming off of this baby, so still erupting today. We've got volcanic ash to 48,000 feet moving southwest, flight level 30,000 feet moving northwest, and flight level 18,000 feet moving west. Now, if you don't know why there's smoke moving in all directions, because the air column above Earth, the winds are blowing in opposite directions every few thousand feet. They blow in all directions. So if you're a skydiver and you're exiting at high altitude, 13.5 maximum, they can take you without supplemental oxygen, and you jump out, you've got to know where that air column is because it's going to blow you around on your way down. That is how it works. It's completely weird, but those are the facts, and we can see it here on the volcanic ash from Liwatobi Laki Laki. Sangay, possible volcanic ash today, and here you can see Liwatobi Laki Laki in Flores, Indonesia. Strong eruptions persisting today. That looks to be about 20,000 feet there. Sokonijima, volcanic ash not identifiable. Shivalush to 13,000 feet. Liwotolo to 8,000 foot today. Ongoing volcanic ash at Raventador. Samadu, who knew, now you do, 15,000 foot puff. Dukono, 7,000 foot blast there. Kirishima, possible activity continuing. Ibu, volcanic eruption was reported. Liwatobi, an eruption was reported. Sangay to 20,000 feet, Shivalush to 13,000 feet. Kirishima, possible volcanic activity continuing there. And Ibu, a volcanic eruption was reported today. Sokonijima exploded to 6,000 feet. Not that high. Liwotolo to 8,000 foot. And we're getting to the end of the list here, aren't we? Raventador to 14,000 foot. Semadu, who knew, now you do, 15,000 foot blast there. Dukono to 7,000. Liwatobi eruption was reported. Yes, we showed you the picture. And wrapping up the list is Sangay with a possible volcanic ash emission. Bringing us to space weather. And we can see no real sunspots on the disk whatsoever. It looks like solar minimum, but there are some little pieces of pepper there, pin pricks. But we did have an impulsive low-level M flare. Now, up-and-coming Stephen Burns' salacious headline today on this flare is major flaring has returned to our sun. Clearly, the guy has no idea what he's talking about. An impulsive M2.5 is not a major flare. In fact, it's completely insignificant and means nothing. Yeah, but we do have a big coronal hole coming at us, and it's in different parts. So we'll have to see how this develops as it turns around the limb. But we could get some nice geomagnetic storming from this as it is approaching equatorial regions. Other than that, here's a look at that flare earlier today over the east limb of that non-significant M2.4. Now, in reality, if this was Earth-facing, it might have been like an M5 or an M7, who knows, but still insignificant. Significant flares are above X3. Yeah. So let's just get that down. And even an X10 or an X20 is not going to take out the grid unless we have multiple major X flares in a row. So there you go. Facts. Cancer rates in Australians under 50 are rising at a pace that's alarming doctors and scientists. Yeah. And this has been happening in just the last few years. I wonder what's changed in the last few years. I don't know. I can't put my finger on it. What say you? Leave a comment below. And all the links to everything we talk about, all the articles, are below the video in the description box. And join us in just a few minutes over at Magnetic Reversal News on Rumble for a live stream of Hamlet's Mill, The Great Year, Precession of the Equinoxes, and the Notch Delay Solar Theory, as well as the first picture of a photo of a photon. That was a tongue twister. It's going to be starting in just a few minutes. We would appreciate your support over there. So head over to Rumble, Magnetic Reversal News, now. And that's a boom to knowledge. Hit the thumbs up. Subscribe to the channel. We're trying to hit 100,000 this year. We need your support. So if you're unsubscribed, please subscribe now and hit the bell for notifications. We love each and every one of you. Be safe. And that is a boom. And we'll see you in just a minute over at Magnetic Reversal News for an amazing expose on the precession of the equinoxes.